There we go.
It was
Oh,
amazing. So, for those of you who missed it, we had an amazing tour of at least one branch of Rebecca's toy library in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I will be uploading pictures to the Library of Things Mutual Aid listserv because they had some really clever hacks that, although we've been lending toys for over a decade, I didn't think of some of those. So, those will be uploaded to the to shared drive. And also, though, you were past president, right? And now are something else of the National Tool Library Association. Is that right?
yeah, so the USA Toy Library Association. So I was the ED for a couple years
Yeah.
and then I just couldn't hack it. I couldn't do both.
Yeah.
I want to give my all to everything and a national group was just too big for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's super excited. And I think a lot of public librarians might not know that existed just because, we can't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
So, um, let's see. So you have a presentation today, right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
a
Let-
little thing, but I don't know. You are sharing a window on another. Oh, I knew this would happen. I have like two desktops. So
well, that
let's not share that one.
I
Okay.
mean, we like cute kid pics and dog pics and things as well, but I totally get it. We're trying to share the right thing.
Okay, but I want to stop sharing. Okay. So how do I get it over to the other one? That's a good question. Um, let's try this. Yeah, I always think of toy libraries like being a teacher because I used to be my background's in early childhood and special ed, and so
Amazing.
uh it's not about creating something new. It's just about sharing what we all know and not reinventing the wheel, you know?
And I think that practical attitude is kind of what we all feel, a lot of
Yeah.
us on this listserv. Although by doing some of these new things, we can kind of elevate ourselves to a new level of, oh, they didn't do that when I was in preschool, you know?
Right. I just don't know how to share it from.
Would it be better? Do you want to send it to me or give me access and then I could share it and you could just be like, Hazel, next slide? Would that be easier?
That would be wonderful. All right,
Okay,
so
let's do
we
that.
connected through here.
So I'll say something that always kind of, so we've had folks who are like more traditional librarians on here, and then we have folks
Yeah.
who aren't traditional librarians. And Rebecca is outside of the traditional library world. And so all of this that she's going to be talking about, she does for fun in her spare time. So I always like to call that out a little bit because, you know, that's
Yeah.
pretty amazing and awesome.
Yeah. It's once you start doing it, it's just, I don't know. It's just awesome. I mean, the feedback you get from families is just everyone loves it, you know. Okay. Email downloading.
Okay.
Yeah, I started doing this in 2012 when Charlotte was 2 years old. And so now she's 14.
Ah.
Okay, I think I sent it.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to check my email.
But yeah, we started with there are two other moms in Minnesota that had the original idea, and they found a small grant through In Your Own Backyard, IOBY. It was like $2,000, and it just paid for like bags and labels, and we set up in a public library, and that's how we first kind of got it out. But then we grew and it's in my garage for a summer in South Minneapolis. And then we found, and then we found a church in South Minneapolis, and that was our first one. And then we just found more churches. Churches tend to have space, and their rent isn't incredibly expensive. So, yeah.
Perfect. I just got it.
It's not a crazy presentation, but it's something. Shows
Oh, it's
pictures and
some pictures. That's great.
yeah.
And again, it's not this is a low, especially today. It's
Yeah.
but always we try to be a friendly, team. If you notice some folks are probably going to be stay off screen, but
Right,
that's
because they're
just because
working.
they're probably doing this while they're on desk or
Yep.
something
Yep. Makes
else.
sense. Makes sense.
All right, we're gonna open it up.
Have you ever heard of traveling toys?
No, tell me about it.
Traveling Toys is an organization out of Connecticut, and they are two women with like just their children are grown, and one of them was a lawyer, the other one's like something in science, and they just thought that public libraries should have toys, and so they they're awesome. Like I can't sing their praises enough. Like they are starting toy libraries in public libraries. What they do is they connect with librarians. Um, they have a list of the toys, they have the process for how to go about it, and they write the grants. They will write the grants, they will get you the funds, and they've been on the Kelly Clarkson show, like they're getting so much popularity, and they have started so many toy libraries in public libraries in Connecticut. And they're part of the USA Toy Library Association. One of them's on our board. But I just think that is something, if we could replicate that ability, of course, you got to find the people. But like, this is what you do. This is who you contact to get money, you know?
That is amazing. I am so going to have them.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite them to give a talk.
Yeah. Yeah. They are
Not
awesome.
here, but at another place where they can get other even more humans. So that will
Yeah.
be great.
And that's kind of your neck of the woods, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think thank you so much for that reference because that's something that could be very useful. All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I press play here. How do I press play?
Present, maybe.
Yes, I just have to get to that right. I'm stuck in Zoom. Okay, I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
share.
I am no
There we
better
go.
at stuff than I just never lived in the virtual world with COVID. Like I didn't have to do all the meetings. I didn't have to do all that. So I'm not
Oh, nice. Well,
savvy
yeah.
with that.
I hit present. Yeah.
We
Come
did
on.
we did curbside pickup with our toy library when we had COVID. Like it was just something that people
Amazing.
needed. People needed playtime, they needed toys, and it was such a labor of love because people would fill out a Google Doc like here's what are your kids kind of interested in, and myself and maybe three other people masked and social distanced in our
Uh,
library would create stacks of toys in garbage bags around the room, and people would message me and pick it up. It was crazy. I can't believe we did that.
oh, that's so inspiring. Yeah. No, I mean we're all just figuring this out, right? When we have good
Yeah,
solutions like what you've done.
yeah.
Okay, it's been what, 4 minutes? I'm already super excited. So, Rebecca, I'm gonna let you give this little presentation and then I
Okay,
have a bunch of questions for you, and I'm sure if other folks
yeah.
join, they will as well.
Jump in. This is very casual. All right. So you can forward to the next slide.
Okay.
So I think our toy library really started with the idea that like waste reduction, that um, a toy library provides an earth-friendly option for playtime. Um, that there's so much waste involved with toys. I think the latest or the last statistic I saw was like 80% of toys end up in a landfill, and I don't understand that. I don't know what people are doing. There's so many more options than that, but that toy libraries provide a place, especially if you accept like secondhand, a place for toys to just get the longest life that they can. Um, so we're really about, waste reduction. We've gotten a lot of grants through our county about waste reduction. I feel like counties are on that mission to, be, zero, carbon footprint, all this. So toy libraries provide that. So yeah, that's where we've gotten a lot of our money from. Obviously, a toy library promotes child development. That's a huge aspect of why we do this. We want to promote play, especially for young kids before they go to kindergarten. There's just so many opportunities through different kinds of toys. The toys in our library are categorized into kind of developmental areas and interest areas. So I came from child development, child care, where we organized our toys the same way. So like math and cognitive toys. So those are going to focus on, sorting, colors, numbers, patterns, things like that, shapes. But we also have vehicles, which is a huge area, board games. We recently, in the last couple of years, I think 3 years now, we've added an adaptive toy section. So those are toys that have been changed to add a switch. So some kids with like limited mobility, maybe they're in a wheelchair, things like that, they can't access the finer things on toys like switches. So like tiny switches. So they have this big button usually that's attached with a cord and like some sort of jack. And that's where it's changed. Somebody has to do that for you. So we have a group in Minnesota through, it's called Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute. So he works with adaptive toys for children. They've got a connection where people will alter the toy. They drill into it, they change the wiring, and they put that jack in there. But those buttons can activate the toy. So it's very inclusive. Um, yeah, so that I'm with my special ed background, I'm very happy that we have that. Those toys are very expensive for families, and sometimes they're only really needed for a certain amount of time, as is all the toys, you know. That's why we do this. They only need it for a certain amount of time to develop certain skills. Um, yeah, and as far as inclusivity, we've done a lot with like diverse representation in our library of, different family makeups through puzzles, different skin tones through dolls. Um, I really love Miniland dolls, Miniland. It's a Spanish company. Um, their dolls smell very sweet, very weird thing, but they're the plastic they use, like you open it and it just has this sweet smell to it. It's so funny. But those dolls, they're beautiful, but they also have like a doll with Down syndrome, a doll with a cochlear implant, like things like that, so that children are seeing themselves in play, and that's very important for them and their confidence. And building a community of people who care about the earth, their children, their family. There are lots of different people that come into the library. We have grandparents, we have nannies, um, just one-timers. It dawned on me when somebody walked in, he was a young guy, he was an uncle. He didn't have any kids, and his nieces and nephews were coming to visit. And he sought us out to go lend toys just for that one time that they were coming in. So that's another way to
Oh.
promote it is like, come to the library, borrow what you need, and then give it back. You're not spending any money, you're not, making any waste, and you're not cluttering up your house with things that you're going to save. You just don't need it for that long. Kids change, their interests change. Um, yeah, so that's kind of the 3 points that I feel like our library focuses on. You can really build a lot off of all of these, as far as like connections to make, partnerships to make. We've recently decided to try to connect with pediatricians and see if they'd be willing to have some information in their lobby. We made these little bookmarks that they could put next to like the waiting area, because their mission is to grow healthy children, so is our mission. And we feel like that's a natural connection. I wish I could find some way to, maybe it'll happen someday, but the folders I got at the hospital when I had a baby of all the information, I wish I could be that information that gets in there. Um, yeah, it just makes sense to me. Toy libraries just make sense. It's going to save you money and um, just promote development. We also have scholarships for families, so I feel like that really um, builds our community. We're not trying to put up any barriers to becoming a member. We try to focus on, what can we do? We got rid of late fees. Um, the only thing that I wish I could figure out is transportation. A lot of families struggle with getting to our library. We try to be on bus lines and things like that. Um, but yeah. All right, next slide. Let's see what we
Awesome.
got. All right, just some pictures. Um, yeah. So it's just shelves and shelves of toys, mostly like zipper bags. We've developed a partnership with Bridging Minnesota, which is an organization that provides materials for people who are, uh, financially strapped or what have you, that are trying to get their house set up, with, lamps and couches and bedding. And so bedding, they get a lot of those big zipper bags that your comforter and your sheets come in, and we get those bags. So then they don't go in the garbage, and they are perfect for everything that is big and needs those bags. I haven't bought bags in so long. Um, yeah, so that was a fun little development. And there's a volunteer that, the kind of realm we're in, we're all volunteers and we all do the hard things or the things that are maybe inconvenient, but a volunteer comes to my library every so often, bring trucks down, all the bags and um yeah, so we're really happy about that. So just families browsing. It looks different now. I've got more space in there, but um, yeah, every gross motor, uh, as you saw in the Northeast Toy Library, that had their own room where they could put out the bikes and the trampolines. I have a different room for all that now, and so I'll hear families say, like, "Oh, you want to go in the big toy room?" And um, yeah, that's where all the big stuff is. Yeah, next slide.
It's really impressive. At least the one I saw.
Yeah, yeah, Trace's, I don't know, combination, maybe 1,000 square feet. I think that's probably what I have now. Um, yeah, we've slowly acquired this entire room in the basement, and then down the hall we have the other room. I utilize as much space as I can. I go higher with shelves. We've got like kind of like garage hook kind of things on one wall to like hang the bags on. But yeah, families, I love browsing. Sometimes I'll see a family sit down and take something out and, see if their kids are interested in it. And yeah, it's fun. It gets busy. But all right,
Why
next
did
slide.
you go for the toys from 0 to 5 versus other ages?
For me, it was my background and just like the critical years, they say, is 5 and under, where most development's happening. The brain is changing and kids need all of those materials. So it's what I knew, and that's kind of what I brought to the group. And so the group was like, yeah, that's fine. Um, and that's the way we market it, is like under 5. Thank you. I said lunch delivered to
Aw.
me. Um, but I don't want people to get hung up on the years, right? Like
Yeah,
some kids who are even like developmentally delayed and they're older, like they can access the toy library. Absolutely. Um, I had a teenager that came in and intellectual development delay, and he uses materials from the library, a lot of board games. So, and like I have my youngest is 8 and she still finds things to play with. So I don't want people to get hung up on that. It's like, oh, they're 5 years old. I can't be a member of the toy library anymore. Like, let's promote play throughout life, and, like they can still get it. So that's why I love it. Some public libraries, I don't know about yours, but like they go older, and
yeah,
even adult board games or things like that. Like play is a part of your whole life. So
absolutely. And a lot of people on this listserv are doing it for other things, for other ages as well. So I think but it's really impressive to see how much you've done, even just concentrating on that age range to think about, oh wow, what if we all just concentrated on 5 years of age range? What, and then imagine we could do that, or if we could partner even more excitedly with a with a toy library like yours,
Mhm.
and then lend a pass to your library.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, there's another toy library in South Dakota. Sioux Falls, what is she called? Toy Lending Library of South Dakota. Annalise is the executive director. Another person that is just, she is amazing. She's just awesome. And she focuses on the younger years too. And she has a library that's free. So it's a free toy library. And she puts the materials into public libraries. So she
Amazing.
makes these boxes and they're curated, they're wonderful. Um, she focuses on, different countries. Let's learn about different countries with books. She has somebody that has made Braille strips, so like people that can't see, like can read the top of the it's just she has thought of so much, and she's partnered with like people who are working on getting kids into kindergarten and getting them ready. She's done a lot with that. Is like, here, this is what's going to help your kids get ready. She's amazing. So there's an opportunity definitely for this age, but I think you have to know your community too. Are you in a community of more older people, like senior, like maybe they need memory games, things like that. Um, we just have a lot of young people in the neighborhoods that we serve, so just gotta know your community, I think, too. All right, see what's next. Yeah, so these are my categories. So those are all the things that we focus on.
How did you
Um,
come up with your categories?
that just came from childcare
Yeah.
and just added different things like board games. Um, yeah, and there's a little bit of education around this too, is like, what is fine motor? What is large motor? I love when people are like dramatic play. Like, what is dramatic play? It is funny when I think about those two words without like the knowledge that I have about imaginary play. So you can do, a little bit of education around that, maybe having like, tags up next to the area about what this is. Manipulative, that's a funny one because it's not blocks. It's like things that go together, like Tinker Toys or bristle blocks, things like that. Science and sensory, that's where I put baby toys. So we do have baby toys, but then I kind of pulled those out away from like my magnets, and we're learning about the world. So I pulled those out. A fun one that we did in science and sensory, we made camping kits, which are really popular in the summer. They have a little headlamp, a little lantern, magnifying glasses, binoculars, and a little like you know, s- like search around for these items kind of board. That's really fun. I really like that. And trip kits, those came about because people were always asking me what's good for a plane ride or a car ride. We're going on our first plane ride with our kids. So we put together materials that would be good for that. Usually like like not lots of pieces, water wow boards, those little viewfinders, things like that. And sometimes they're for different ages too. And then birthday kits, it's a pack of games that you can play at a birthday party, all about reducing waste. Here's a parachute, here's, these kinds of games. That those two things, the trip kits and the birthday kits, was funded by a waste reduction grant from our county. So those are popular.
Awesome. So if they were funded by the Waste Reduction Grant, where did everything else get funded from?
Uh, I mean memberships.
Okay.
So our toy library you have to pay to be a member. It's on a sliding scale, 40 to $100 for the entire year, and you pay what you want to pay. Um, we first started at $20 because we had no idea if people would like a toy library. Soon found out it's very popular. So yeah, 40 to 100. I like the sliding scale. I just had to get down my presentation of it, that I show kind of what each pay bracket pays for. Like I have a poster and, this helps pay for that. So people can make their decision off of that and how much they're willing to pay. So yeah, mostly memberships. Um, yeah, grants. And I would say about 85% of our inventory is secondhand.
Amazing.
We have a lot. I mean, you hope that the toy library concept like starts to catch on in your area and you're like, we shouldn't have so many toys being donated, but it's never ending. So, and I don't want to stop accepting it because I feel like we're a good source for that toys will get into the hands of kids. Pieces won't get lost if they go to like a thrift store or something. And any like overage, anything that we have too many of, or maybe it just wasn't the right age, doesn't fit in the library, we have an annual garage sale. So then it benefits Toy Library still. So
Smart.
costumes, we have lots of costumes. Super popular during Halloween. We recycle broken toys with TerraCycle, so that's out of New Jersey, and they have all sorts of different recycling programs. The box we get is just all toy waste, so we can just throw things in there. But we also just recently developed a partnership with a local business called Cool Trash. They're pretty unique. Check them out. They take plastic that's, broken, not used anymore, and she pelletizes it, melts it down into different molds. And so she makes buttons, earrings. She has a mold for if you ever embroider and you have those little like discs that you wrap your string around. She made those. She's got all sorts of stuff. So she has been taking our broken plastic. We haven't seen anything made from it yet. She's kind of backed up, as you can imagine. Like, probably a lot of her stuff she's got a lot to go through. Her name from Cool Trash, is that what Sally was asking about? Um, Michelle, Melissa? I forgot. Cool Trash. Yeah. Yeah. If you look her up, you'll find her. Uh, yeah, but we do our best to, you know, if like something's missing from a set, we have extras. So we have a whole shelf of like the extras, the extra little like Fisher Price people or like dinosaurs or Barbie clothes. Sometimes we get that in a donation. We don't know what to do with it. So we all have these areas in our library where it's just extras, balls, blocks, things like that. It gets donated. It's like one thing. So we add it to that so that when a piece goes missing in the toy, we can just replace it with that. So, and then we also have a guy who has volunteered to recreate things out of wood. So if we have like a wooden puzzle, he would recreate a piece. My dad's pretty handy, so he's done things like that. So we don't like throwing things away. So trying to do that and diverse collection of toys. So yeah, I think one of those dolls is the Mini Land doll. Barbie fireman. Okay, next slide. I turn the slide. See what's
Oh, it did
next.
not turn. Sorry.
No, that's
Materials for
okay.
car and plane trips, adapted toys. You already kind of talked about these. Can you see that? Large items, no need to store.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, here we go. Yep. Sorry. It
Okay.
just looks so the same. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. So that's the button for the adaptive toys, large items. Yep. I think I kind of already mentioned all that.
Yeah, you kind of did it, but it's so great. These are some great ideas.
Yeah, because you get little things, and I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect for a trip kit. You know. So this is just kind of showing the impact that these toys can make. We have a lot of information in our software about like how many times something has been borrowed. So this one was borrowed 57 times. You buy it once, it's $44. You buy a membership to the toy library at $40. It's like be a member of the toy library.
Yeah.
Lend toys. I think thinking about like why somebody wouldn't borrow toys. Some people are worried about the germs. I get that a lot. How do you clean your toys? We ask our families to clean them before they come back. We tell them how to clean them so they get like a little sheet when they sign up. Being from childcare, both myself and Carrie runs the St. Paul branch. We know appropriate ways to clean toys. So we do asset members do it. So some people don't want to borrow toys because they may still be dirty. If I always say like if that's an issue, like clean the toys before your kid plays with them. Because if this is important to you, if lending is important because, you don't have the money to buy toys or, you like that it's a waste reducing practice, just clean them, before your kid plays with them, if it's that important to you. Yeah, I don't know what other reasons people have they don't like borrowing. I'm always interested if like there's a cultural aspect to it. Like I do see less of certain cultures come in. Um, I don't know. Maybe people it's important to own things for certain cultures. I don't know. Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, scholarships. We do family-friendly swaps at each branch. So we just have like a collection of things that you are done with and want to give to another family. Clothes, bottles, um, any like pack and plays, things like that. It's very popular. We have something in Minnesota called Help Me Grow, which is just resources for families with young children. Do you need, food access,
That's great.
rent, things like that. So we're on there as a resource. And they also provide like these little pamphlets about like, what your kids should be doing before the age of 5. Here's who to reach out to if you are wondering if they need services, things like that. And we also have translation services through Language Line at each branch. So another way that we're trying to eliminate any barriers to access. So if somebody comes in, we've used it a couple times, mostly Spanish. Just pop open our iPad and we can have somebody translate our conversation.
That's awesome. So good. Yay!
That's it.
Oh my gosh, Rebecca, this is so great. I feel like this was such a short and sweet presentation in the best way possible. Like you just
Yeah.
said, oh, we do this, we do this, we do this.
Yeah.
All these great things that I think a lot of us would love to and aspire to do. I know we have had a few people wanting to adapt some toys and do that, but we just got intimidated. I'm gonna make your head big now, and
Yeah.
our
Okay.
heads big
Yep.
instead
Yep.
of so that we can kind of ask questions and have a little conversation. And folks,
Yeah.
I know often you guys are in stealth mode, so no obligation, but you can also just unmute and join the conversation and feel free to ask Rebecca questions. She's friendly, I promise. She's taken like my misspelled emails and happily answered, yeah, sure, come on by. It's great.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm a very casual person.
yeah, so so yeah, wow, really impressive what you've done. And just quick
Yeah.
say, so you've now been doing this for over 10 years? Did you say when did you say you started?
2014.
Yeah. Amazing, which is great, which is great. And
Yeah.
so that you just talked a little bit about the Minneapolis toy library or the Minnesota, sorry, Minnesota toy library.
Mhm.
And what about so I'm curious because how does that relate then to the Toy Library Association of America that you are a part of? Do you have to be a part, like are almost all toy libraries in America part of the Toy Library Association, or is it kind of like you're working together? A few of you who had toy libraries are like, man, we should share more ideas and
Yeah.
got together and made it happen. How does that relationship work?
So, yeah, you don't have to be a part of the
Yeah,
USA Toy Library Association.
yeah,
That association started like 35 years ago, and it was out
yeah,
of this need for all of us to kind of connect.
yeah,
It offers that. It offers connection with other toy libraries. They have worked very hard on creating kind of the Bible of toy libraries, like the how to develop a toy library. It's got everything from, starting if you want to do a nonprofit, what do you need to do for that? And like cleaning, safety. It has everything. So that's a really good resource. Um, but yeah, I think it was just nice to kind of bring me in connection with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just but I think if you run any sort of toy lending service, like we just need to connect with each other. Like you don't have to be a member, but let's connect, you know. I've had lots of conversations with people that want to start a toy library and some have failed, but yeah, you got to connect with each other because we this isn't like it's kind of a niche thing, you know.
But it's been successful and it's been
It's
going
grown.
on for decades, right? So anyone
Yeah.
really can jump on this bandwagon. So all the questions people ask about, like, what
Yeah.
if a kid gets too attached to a toy? What if a kid breaks a toy? How are you going to deal with that? If there's lice or bed bugs or how are you going to deal with all that? It's
Yeah.
all been answered, right? Like this has been solved. This is
Yeah.
not new.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something that people they've borrowed toys and they haven't gotten, I don't know, they haven't gotten sick or
Yeah.
whatever, you know? And
Yeah.
like the broken toy thing, like we're very, I don't know, like if you break my favorite, I don't know, Grimm's toy, I might like ask that you replace that one.
Right.
Um, but dogs are often the culprit for like puzzle pieces or like things like that. I asked that people maybe would donate a toy if they broke a toy. So it's just, I don't know. You can be harsh about it, but I don't think you're going to have a lot of longevity with members. Like, oh, it didn't feel good. And like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just got to know your community too.
Totally fair. So a couple of innovations that I thought were really cool that you guys probably have been doing a long time, but we had just started it before I got on the tour and talked to you. So I wanted to call it out here because I think it was really clever, is that so you have those donated bags, which I love that they hold up in your library. They have not held up in ours,
Oh,
but I know, which is a bummer, but that's okay. If you ever have to, we now know some reinforced vinyl ones, so we just buy them and it
yeah,
works. But um and in when you put all the items in the bag, every item is has a number on it so that so you know which kit basically which bag it goes into. And so that if a missing piece comes back, you don't have to feel like, "Oh, wonder where it's going to." You can actually put it right back in the kit it came into. And they have little drawers
mm,
where a bunch of those things are. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And that was only what, like maybe 6 years after we started that we realized that would be important. I think we had always labeled, but the like drawers of things and like how we get them back to reunited was something later. It's always evolving, but yeah, that works really well for us.
So there's a
It's
bit of
permanent
processing
marker.
time here to then put every tool into the toy library, right? And so another key innovation I thought was super cool was that you as volunteers don't do it all, right? You have some of your patrons do it. Can you talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so our members can take home toys that already have the vital information, the code. So for us, it's for board games, it's BG and then a number. So we already have that on the toy, like maybe the bag, but they can take it home without it counting against their 5 toys that they get because we're asking them that they label all the pieces inside with like permanent marker, right? BG12 on every Duplo block. So people really enjoy that. Like if they also get an extra toy to bring home, but they also like being able to help when they can't do other things. Like they can't come and volunteer for a shift, but they can take those things home and label them. And some people take a lot, some people take like one. It's always available. It's in the same spot at the library, so people know what that's about. It's been really helpful because
I
I
thought
hate
that,
it.
yeah,
I
and
hate
I thought that system was brilliant. Like, obviously, you don't want to do this from an adult perspective with 1,000 puzzle piece. Like, just let that go. But from some of these key toys and that really I thought makes sense. And I'm sure we all have volunteers that they would actually love that job. Or we could the way you incentivize them to love that job was, I thought,
Right.
really clever.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Another thing I was really impressed with, I mean, I was impressed again. Kudos, love it so much. I want someone to start one here so that I
Yeah.
can lend a pass.
Yeah.
I really think that would be a wonderful way. A lot of what we think about is how libraries can't do it all, right? As you well know, just like you probably want to lend other things, but you really got to concentrate on just these toys from a certain area. Has any public library approached you about lending a pass to your public? So, for example, I lend a pass right now to go to museums, and we lend a pass and
Yep.
that's fairly normal in libraries. Have you
Yep.
worked with any libraries to get a pass to your toy library?
First time I've heard about it. I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I
that
think
would be a
that would
great
be
idea.
incredibly popular.
Yeah.
I know if you were here, we would totally say yes.
Yeah.
If you want any local library contacts, I don't know of anyone. You probably know more people than I do. But if you need the intro and need me to tell them it's doable, I am more than happy to be like, this is doable. We do it all over with way more complicated things like kayaks.
Right. Right. I love that.
So, that I think my goal is to have like, what if every synagogue and church basement and grange, what if we all were lending something,
Hmm.
or even the bike shop that was the rental shop down the street. What if all of our rental shops we lent a pass to all of them? In that way, we create this robust sharing ecosystem
Yeah. I
where we're
think that's
not doing it
where,
all.
yeah, I think that's where like the sharing, the lot, like that kind of economy can work, is if we expand it a little bit more. Yeah, I love that idea. We did connect with the public library right when we started just to see if there was space.
Yeah,
Of course, like everyone's strapped for space. So that wasn't an option, but I feel like I need to make another connection. And the youth librarian at the Egan Library is actually on the board of the USA Toy Library Association. So I know her. I should connect with her. She is trying to get toy lending happening in her library.
yeah,
She
yeah.
has been trying for decades. Maybe not decades, but
No, it can be
yeah.
tricky. It can be tricky. Another key aspect was, so I have some questions from other humans who couldn't be here today. So one
Yeah.
was, when you can't replace some of these parts,
Yeah.
how much do you stress about it? Like, do you just say, oh, toy with missing part, and just call it good if the toy is still really basically functioning, but you had the
Yeah.
farm set and you're missing the cow now. And,
Yeah.
instead you still have the horse and the chicken and everything else.
Right. Case by case.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will say, oh, that can go back out. Someone's going to have fun playing with it. But I will put a note in our software that says, like, missing cow.
Totally.
Sometimes, or like the member will say, like, I know it's in our house. I just don't know where it is. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you can return it. Um, I have an area where I have problem toys. And so sometimes if it's a puzzle, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like missing that one piece, I'm not going to put that out because that's sad to put a puzzle together and miss that one piece. I will put it on that shelf. I'll make a note, missing a piece, member might bring back. So it's like
Yeah.
if it's playable, I'll put it back out. Again, I have those extra pieces, so I might just be able to replace that cow right away.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't stress about it, but other like if it's just not going to work, I'll put it aside. Hopefully, I'll find those things. If I don't, I have a lot of materials coming into the library all the time because we take secondhand. I'll just take it out. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done waiting for this. I'll recycle it. I'll do something with it.
That's really
Yeah.
again, right in line with all these best practices we're going for. So it seems great. For those of you who haven't checked out Rebecca's website, I highly encourage you to do so. I sent it over email a few times, but they also have cleaning protocols, which I thought were really smart. I really appreciate you putting that up, especially during COVID. I think that put a lot of people's minds at ease, and not everyone was doing that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just kudos to
Uh,
you on that. I did notice.
thank you.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's the education piece too. It's like educating them about how to do it. Get the kids involved,
Yeah.
that if this is going to be something we want, because I focus on younger kids, like if we want them to be part of like a lending library or just lending in general and being more open to it, like we need to get them involved. They talk the talk, they come in and they talk about borrowing. Parents talk about like, oh, well, it's not here. Maybe we'll get it next time. Or we need to bring this back because we need other people to enjoy it. Like we're just creating, if we ever have, young kids in your library lending, like we're creating that next generation that's gonna think this is important and think it's normal, you know?
Absolutely. And I'm sure you have so many stories to share about that.
That's great. Yeah.
Two more quick questions for you, at least if no one else chimes in. That you've got folks are there's a lot of smiles going up. I don't know if you saw some of the hearts that have come up
Yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
this. But software, what software do you use?
My husband made it.
Amazing.
So he's a software
Clever
developer.
fellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to share it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep priming him for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so he's developed it and tweaked it. People sign up there and then it tracks like all their toys. We just recently allowed members to have their own member account so that they can see at least like what they have checked out.
Cool.
Because we didn't have that before. People would
Yeah.
come in like, oh, I think I had five, I think I had four. And again, like that's fine. Like might be frustrating for you, but yeah. So we've got a member account now, and we've got all sorts of statistics, which is nice. Like especially an end of the year wrap up, like how many toys did we lend? Waste reduction. We always talk about weight of things.
Yeah.
So we have the weight of our toys and how much weight we have lent, which is talking about how
Hmm.
much weight you've kept out of the landfill, which is I think a nice thing that we have now. We developed it with a past grant that we got, but now we'll always have it. And I feel like that's a very like important thing for us to have going
I
forward.
I would say that is actually a pro tip for anyone listening. A lot of people around at least the US and certain parts of the globe, if you weigh what you're doing, you can qualify for completely different grants. You can qualify for carbon-based grants. You can qualify for grants from like departments of forestry. It's
Mm.
really phenomenal. A way to plug in kind of the alternative funding sources,
Yep.
as
Yeah. If
well
you
as
ever go to
impact.
yeah, if you ever go to like a clothing swap, they're always like weighing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, what was my other question for you? I have so many, but anyone else in this last, we have 5 more minutes, and I'm not going to keep Rebecca past time because she is donating her vacay May Day
Oh,
here, and I know she has a sandwich or something waiting for her.
that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I do love talking about toy libraries. So if
Yeah.
you're ever like any interest of people wanting to connect with me afterwards, happy to.
Well, I will put a bug in your ear about this isn't the question I was going to ask because I've
Yeah.
forgotten what that is. But I recently was talking to a bunch of people about wouldn't it be great if you could take your phone, have your phone identify an item, like you were at a toy store or you were at a hardware store or something, and be like the phone, and then ask, does my local library have it? As
Oh,
a software app. And so then I went online and I make a draft one with AI, some AI engine. And anyway, I have another fellow looking at it right now. But if that is ever of interest to you, I might loop you into that conversation since you seem like you might have humans who might also care.
yeah.
Because wouldn't that be a game-changing little app to be about in the
Wow.
world? So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
anyway.
That would be like that's my husband's recently. Yeah. AI, right? And like
Yeah, yeah.
he would be interested in that
So
conversation.
okay,
Yeah.
I will continue this conversation with you
Okay.
offline, depending
Okay.
upon what my I asked for help already. And another a wonderful human named Brian is might be working on
Yeah.
it. Maybe. We'll see.
Awesome. Love it.
But if so, it would be there. Yes, we will absolutely let you know if we make it true. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's why I sharing it with everyone, because wouldn't that be an amazing tool for all of us at every library to be like, I want this thing. Where could I get it? And then
Yeah.
and then your local libraries pop up already, even just from a public library perspective. We don't have American Girl dolls and a nearby library does. And we don't have Toonie boxes and a nearby library does. So I've been sending them to those libraries and like, you can come here for the drill bits and things, you know?
Hmm.
So it's an
Mm,
option.
love it. Target beware.
Yeah. Here we come. That was my last question, actually. Not target beware, but perfect. Thank
Okay.
you for reminding me,
Yeah.
which is repair, which rhymes with that. So,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
have you worked at all? I know, for example, down the street, you have the tool library, and they do a lot of repair cafes. I noticed you talked about repair and things and
Mhm.
partnering with different folks. Have you done repair cafes, or have you gone to specific repair cafes for your things? Or is it just in-house you guys are repairing stuff?
Mostly in-house, mostly the one guy that repairs the wooden things. I have a guy that knows bikes. I've got 3D printing people for like those
Amazing.
little like game pieces, you know. Our public library actually has 3D printers too for free. Um, but we have gone to the tool library for like a fix-it clinic. We fixed a couple of our toys there. Yeah, we love fix-it clinics, but mostly in-house. Yeah,
Yeah,
how we do it. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Okay, anyone else? I didn't see any other questions, which I always find fascinating. But if Rebecca, if we come up with other things, do you mind if anyone would reach out and give you a quick call to be like, wow, I really am curious about your schema, and I'd like to take a look at and make it a similar schema for my public library. Would it be okay if we
Oh,
reached out and
yeah.
asked? Yeah,
I
okay.
encourage it.
Okay. Again, Rebecca, thank you so very much for everything that you're doing. And I am really excited. This has reinvigorated me to take a closer look at some of the stuff we lend, because we lend in
Yeah.
the children, teen, and adult section. And
Yeah.
so I feel like yours, I both could use up in the adult section as well as in the children's section for different audiences. So thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're
got a page full
welcome.
of notes.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for putting this together. I hope to connect with more people later.
Yay. Okay. Be well. Have a lovely weekend when you get to it, and we'll see
Yeah.
you all soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.